YouTube, what's going on? Jamar again here, Vegas Sense. Got another Alexandria fragrance here. This one is the third of the three fragrances that uh, Haney Hafez sent me over at Alexandria Fragrances. And again, forever grateful for that. Haney, if you see any of these videos, again, I'm grateful for you sending me these. And if you have anything else that you would, like to send me in the future to have me review, definitely, hit me up or whatever. I would love to review pretty much all of your fragrances. Even if it's a fragrance that, looking at the notes, I probably know that I wouldn't like. Um, I'm really getting to the point where I'm like an enthusiast when it comes to like the fragrances or whatnot. So I would love to just be able to just make videos, on a weekly basis or even daily, of just different fragrances, and just kind of get my nose on different things to kind of grow when it comes to the fragrance world. So and I would say that this fragrance is one of those fragrances that sort of helped me do that. So this one is Dark Night. Okay. So this particular fragrance, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about this one for quite a while. I think I first saw this particular fragrance on Big Bear B's channel, and he was just saying that he couldn't stand how good this particular fragrance was. Like he was saying that he was upset because this particular fragrance smelled just as good, if not better, than by Kilian's Black Phantom. Which the Black Phantom costs about $300, and this particular fragrance, depending on what bottle you get, is no more than $60. Um, so when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, that's definitely one that I want to try out. Um, but I've never owned like a gourmand type fragrance or never really smelled one before. So I didn't really know what to expect, and it wasn't really something that I wanted to like blind buy. Like typically when I buy a fragrance, it's something that for the most part I know that I'm probably gonna like it. Um, and yeah, I mean, if had Haney not sent me this, I probably wouldn't have purchased it. But just a disclaimer: even though he sent me this fragrance, that won't have any effect on my opinion of this particular fragrance. But what I will say is this is really good. It really is. I do think that I need to let this bottle maybe sit for a few more weeks to allow it to sort of age. That's one thing that you do have to do. With Alexandria fragrances sometimes, especially if he just made a fresh batch of that particular fragrance. You sort of have to let it sit for a while, and that happens with a lot of fragrances that sort of sell out, really quickly, and then he'll make new batches of the fragrance and it becomes available. If you grab that fragrance right when it comes available, you know, by the time you get the fragrance is literally only about a week old or so. So, to really get like the full potential as far as the smell and performance goes, you do sort of have to let these sit for a little while, whatever, to get, the full potential of the particular fragrance. But just, so far, what I get from this is you get like this really bitter dark chocolate, I would say, mixed with coffee. Um, I don't really so much get the caramel in this, because I mean, as far as the notes go, this has it only has a few notes. I think it's like dark chocolate, caramel, rum, uh, coffee, sandalwood, and heliotrope. I believe are like the full list of notes for this particular fragrance. Um, this particular fragrance is classified as sweet, warm, spicy, coffee, and cacao. And when I first spray this on, like I said, you kind of get like a blast of the, the dark chocolate mixed with the coffee. And I don't know, I kind of get like sort of like a greenness to this. And maybe that's the heliotrope that I sort of smell. You kind of get that, it kind of lingers around, I would say, for maybe like the first hour or so of this particular fragrance. But then after that, this sort of sweetens up a little bit. And you really start to get like a lot of that, that real warm, dark chocolate and the coffee and the caramel. And I mean, you sort of do get a little bit of the booziness as far as the rum goes as well. Um, it's not really a prominent note, I would say. It's not something that you really, really smell a lot of. Um, but it's there, I would say. It's definitely there. But yeah, I mean, this stuff, like I said, it is something that I kind of had to grow into liking. It wasn't something where it was like, when I first sniffed it, I was like, man, like I was blown away. That was more so what I got from like Hafez 1984. Um, but this is definitely something that I will be wearing a lot of, especially around this time of the year. It's definitely it's cooler outside out here in Vegas. Like right now, it's probably like around 40 degrees outside almost. Um, Definitely no warmer than about 44, 45 degrees out there right now. Um, so I mean, it's really good for this type of year or this type of time of year. Um, and I would say any woman that loves chocolate or that likes the smell of chocolate and coffee and just likes gourmand fragrances, I would say wear this around her, and she might eat you alive for sure. Um, so again, this one is Dark Knight. As far as the longevity on this one, I get a very long time when it comes to longevity on this. You spray this on, and I mean, you're looking at least probably about 16 plus hours with this. As far as the projection, um, I would say this probably projects pretty strongly for like the first, I don't know, maybe 2 hours or so. And then I won't say that it doesn't really get to be like a skin scent, but it just projects uh, a lot less, after the 2 hours or whatnot. Um, but I feel like it kind of has like sort of like a light, real calm projection, I would say, just throughout the entire life of the fragrance. Um, which it works pretty well because I think if this was like a fragrance that projected for, let's say, 4 or 5 hours and it projected like really, really strongly, it could definitely be something that I think would, it would definitely choke a lot of people out. I typically go like 3, 4 sprays max with this, and I don't think it's ever gotten to the point where like it's become like cloying to my nose anyway. Um, so again, this is really good stuff. Um, upon first spray, I wasn't crazy about it, but I've grown to like this a lot. So again, this is Alexandria Fragrances Dark Knight. Go and pick it up. Vegas Sense. See y'all in the next video.